But while we're letting that dry still, I want you to practice doing the reflections as well, because it looks really gorgeous if it's a wet beach or a wet river or something, get some little reflections underneath. So on each of these figures, a little doggy is cute as well, so you can put a little blob next to the person. It's got a little tail.
He's got big tails.
A little tail, and the shape as it's walking away is something like that. Skinny legs, fat body at the top, and then there's a little tail poking up in the air. I've got this tiny little tail here. It's wagging his tail as he's walking along. So let's do some reflections. To do the reflections in water are always a different tone to the real thing, because some of the light gets dispersed. So an easy way to do it is to go slightly paler. Slightly paler in the reflection. So dip your brush into water a little bit, and then you take this, you want to reverse that picture coming down. So you can either go, if it's dead still, you can come down and do this roughly similar shape, but in slightly paler. You can pull out a little bit of that pigment by drying your brush off and pulling it up into your bristles, so it's slightly paler, and then do the same on the little figure that's alongside. And there is the dog and the man with reflection underneath it. So you're just taking the figure and then flipping it over upside down underneath. Flips over. So there's the little reflection there. If you want to make sure you see what's happening, you can put a real sharp line with your brush, really vertical, so sharp sword stroke across where the ground is. That can sometimes really help you to see the reflection. I'm going to do it on all of these. Little sharp line where the ground is, and that helps me to see where the reflection is. So I've just put a little sharp line in there for where the ground is, tiny little sharp mark. And then I come in here with my paler colour, it's a little bit of water added, and then I just kind of do a wobbly, vague kind of shape for what that guy looks like upside down. For a Ripley shadow, you take the colour that you've got up above, the tone a little bit paler, and you come down, you start going, okay, legs, then skirt. Instead of just making it a neat skirt, you go wobble, wobble, wobble. So watch what I'm doing. You go for the torso, we go wobble, 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 and then wobble on the head. Okay. So you're vaguely making the same shape, but you're wobbling it sideways. You put this sideways wobble in it as if there's ripples running across the water. These are so tiny for the camera. Little tiny ripples. So that's even easier, because then you just vaguely do the shape, but you just put it in a kind of a ziggy-zaggy thing going on. It doesn't have to be neat and tidy. I'm going to do wobbles for all of the rest of them. Really vague kind of reflection of that. So there's a whole pile of reflected figures with vague wobbles underneath. So you've got to choose whether the water is got wind running across it and creating ripples, or whether it's dead still, crystal clear reflections. But see how that brings some real depth in, having that reflection in underneath?